And welcome back, everybody. We're doing continue doing this Black Excellence series. We got our boy Kenny Sparks here today. I got Tank in with me
What's
too.
up?
This is great, guys. Kenny, why don't you shout your channel real quick before we get into this?
Word. So my channel is the Kenny Sparks channel. Um, it's at Kenny Sparks YT YouTube, and essentially, I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, and interviews with other YouTubers. And yeah, so this has been a really good situation and channel for you guys to check out. Yeah, let me know.
Hey guys, he has great takes. He has great
Yes.
videos. You have to check him out. I believe, just hit 1,000. So like he's doing great big things. We gotta support our people. I love him. I love watching him. He's one of those guys that we watch before we go on live. And me and
Yeah.
Take us in there talking about before we go do stuff. So definitely support him. This is great. But as I said, we're doing this Black Excellence series. We're going to talk about a few things today. Tonight, I wanted to focus on Creed. So not just one, but all three of the movies. We can talk about the comic books. You can talk about all those things that it's really and how it affects the culture overall. The
Hmm.
idea that Adonis, is a kid who could be who basically was adopted,
Yep.
and how that affects the culture, and then growing up a certain way and then coming back, all those things. There's so many ideas. I want you to tell me, Kenny, what do you think about the Creed movies and how it does for the culture?
So I think it does important things for the culture in two different ways. One, it's in front of the camera and behind the camera as Michael B. Jordan takes control of Creed 3, right? So in front of the camera with the character of Adonis Creed, we're talking about a character who was born like out of wedlock, not out of wedlock, but out of like a different marriage or a different woman. Like we find out that Apollo slept ended up sleeping around and had Adonis, and Adonis ends up in a situation where he was in juvie. He was fighting. We later find out how he ended up in juvie and stuff like that, and in his history. So we're talking about a character that was adopted, like you mentioned, Brian, by Apollo's wife, and she does the like incredible thing that she really doesn't have to do of taking in Adonis because she knows that this boy is in trouble. And I think it's also because like it's a part of Apollo
Yeah.
like that she doesn't
Mhm.
have anymore.
Yep.
Even though Apollo, if I remember correctly, I do had kids already
Mhm.
in the second and third one, so there are already kids around. So she's
So yeah,
bringing him
she
in.
has her own kids, and he
Yeah,
has brothers and sisters from this.
Right.
exactly. Yeah,
Marianne
so
is a
we're
trooper.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
talking about a black woman who, and Felicia Rashad, who's black excellence personified,
Oh
who's
my god.
bringing in Adonis, teaching him, putting him in a good home, giving him a good education. But I think the important thing, the reason why it's important for the culture, is because it shows how this black kid, even in affluence, still needs to find his own identity and why it's so important and why fathers are so important and why
Yes.
he like the you remember he's fighting Ricky Conlon and he's taking a beating a little bit and Rocky's like, yo, let's throw in the towel. And he's like, no, I need to prove myself. He's like, prove what? It's like that I'm not a mistake. So he has to find his own way. He has to make his own way. And I just think that's really important for us as men, especially knowing that we like do sometimes really have to fight, even though people will tell us about our worth. We need to go out and prove it to ourselves. So yeah, man, I think that is important also. There's another really important thing about Adonis that I think sometimes gets overlooked, and it's how immature he is at times. In
Hmm.
every single movie, Adonis either says something crazy to Rocky or says something crazy to his wife, who's named. Dang, really wish I remember the character that Tessa
Bianca.
Thompson, Bianca,
Bianca.
right?
Okay.
Where he's lashing out, he's being a jerk, like he's really being like the worst at that moment. And
Mhm.
then he comes around, he's like, "Yo, I was terrible. I'm not like I apologize. I was," and you find out like he's doing this out of pain, out of like insecurity, And the reason why I think that's important is not just because he's apologizing, it's because it shows the vulnerability of black men. Like we are
Oh,
fully
yeah.
360 human beings, right? So
Yes.
the fact that you're not just showing him as this perfect person throughout every single movie, he does something really stupid or says something like uh Creed 2 when Rock's trying to keep him from fighting Victor Drago. And he's like, you're just mad because I'm going after something that you didn't, or what have you. And I'm like, dog, you talking to Rocky? He took you in. Like, what's going on here? So, yeah, I think that the 360 characterization of Adonis is as important as his wins, is showing like, no, he's a jerk sometimes. You know what I mean? So I think all of that is important.
Mm,
No, I 100%
yeah.
agree. So when you characterize someone as a warrior,
Hmm.
you think of them only as a warrior in that type of frame of mind, then you try to pigeonhole them into that all the time. And
Yeah.
he's so much more, and he's learning to do so much more. And even the idea in Creed 2 when he's becoming a father and now trying
Yeah.
to figure out what that means to be a father. Because when you have kids, you don't know what the hell you're doing. All, and usually you have to lean on someone to kind of tell you where to go. He had no one to lean on.
Right.
He had
Mhm.
to figure out his own way, and that happens a lot in multiple cultures. But that's one of those things that you have to learn how to be a man, and it usually
Yeah.
takes a man to teach you how to be a man. And I
Yeah.
think that's also important too.
And as
Yeah.
you're mentioning, like the fatherhood aspect, we're talking also talking about like Black Love here with his relationship with Bianca. And I think the thing that's really important with that is the fact that Bianca, she's losing her hearing, and
Mm,
he chooses her anyway. Like he's not looking for this perfect woman who's like, oh, I'm not going to be with you if you can't hear in a few years. And then in Creed 2, when his daughter, you find out his daughter's deaf, it's like, and he's crying in the gym, or he's crying after he finds out the results. Like that scene, that got me. Like I was tearing
No,
up.
no,
And then he
the
decides to fight.
Rocky, what Rocky says to him.
Yeah.
Oh, why are you crying? You think she's feel sorry for herself?
mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
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 Oh, it's like,
Yeah.
no, you better teach her to be a fighter. You better
Right.
teach her how to. She doesn't care about that. Teach her what it needs to be, to learn. You need to
Hmm.
learn sign language. You need to be on your A game, so she's on her A game. She ain't trying to worry about that. You got to
Yep.
teach her how to live this world. I think
Yeah.
that's what it is to
Mhm.
be a father. That's what it is to be a man. Once again, it takes a man to show you how to be a man.
Right. And same thing is really interesting in his relationship with Rocky in Creed 1 when he finds out Rocky has cancer. And Rocky is like, yo, is I don't know if he's quitting. I don't remember like exactly, but Adonis is pissed because Rocky didn't tell him. Like, what do you mean you're just gonna let yourself die? That you have nothing like who am I? Like I'm
Mhm.
here. Like you just gonna die and leave us behind and stuff like that. So it's all that male like love that's like, yo, we need each other. And just like in Creed 3 where he needed him, or Creed 2 where he needed him to show him like she's not feeling sorry for herself. You can't feel sorry for yourself. You got to fight because she's going to fight. It's yeah. I think it's a beautiful depiction of manhood and that black love. And in Creed 3, we have reconciliation, and learning to deal with your past and stuff like that. And I've been talking a lot. Some other people.
No, no. I mean, this is the
No, it's all
idea.
really
This
good
way
points, man.
it should feel that way, and
Hmm.
even because Creed 3 brings up another type of thing where you don't want to let go of your past.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You don't want to grow. You want to feel like you're bringing them. Someone did something for you. You want to bring them along with you. And sometimes you need to let go of that past
Yep.
Mhm.
in order for you to grow.
Yeah.
And you see it all the time. And we see it in basketball players. We see it
Hmm.
in
Mhm.
these stars that hold on and have this huge this crew of people that bleed them dry.
Yep.
And that's what once Adonis, he was done with it. Adonis, he was thrown to the side. He was like, oh, I don't need you anymore
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I was always just jealous of what you had. And that was another thing that you need to see. And
Yeah.
people need to understand.
And I think the other important thing was after they were done their fight in Creed 3, Adonis was still there for him. he was still like, if you need me, I'll be here for you. I understand. Like even actually after I think it's a deleted scene in Creed 2 when he goes up to
Mhm.
Victor and they have a conversation. Or
Yep.
actually, he's managing Victor in
He's
Creed
making
3.
Magic
Yeah,
Victor and
number
Creed
3.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, man, I think it's important just for men to see dynamic relationships, and especially black men to see dynamic relationships, because a lot of the things that were shown are really one-sided. Yeah, so and speaking of Creed 3, let's talk about Michael B. Jordan behind the camera as a first-time director. That dude killed it. And the thing I love about Creed 3 is that it is in the Rocky series, but it's uniquely Michael B. Jordan's movie. It takes inspirations from the things that he grew up with anime and stuff like that.
Oh,
If you
definitely
watch like
anime.
all the
Yeah.
behind the scenes things of where he took different inspiration from, it is a Michael B. Jordan movie. It's not a Rocky movie like by somebody else who's just kind of like taking that mantle. And I even love like the end fight scene where they go into those dark shadows and they're kind of fighting and stuff like that. Man, I think it's great for Michael B.
The
Jordan to show.
imagery was so good,
Yeah,
and it's very,
yeah,
comic booky.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, in a big way. Yeah, man, and I think like it's dope to see Michael B. Jordan, who's been in the industry for a very long time since he was a child, a
Was it?
teenager.
What was that movie? Tank Hardball.
Um,
Hardball, yeah,
Hardball?
yeah,
Yeah,
with
with
Keanu
Keanu
Reeves.
Reeves.
Yep,
Oh, I think it's a Hardball, right?
yeah, he was in
Yeah.
the
He was in
Hardball.
that
He
with
was in
his
The
braids and
Wire.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to see him grow up through the industry and say, I want to take a shot at directing. And when you hear him talk about it, you hear him talk about how much he studied and how much he like took from other directors in terms of like asking questions and stuff like that. And I think that is really important. Another way to show black excellence, just like Jordan Peele did, as a matter of fact, is to work really hard at your craft, learn a lot about your craft, and then to be able to transition to a different part of your craft if you so choose to do. So I think like all around Creed is just a great representation of what you can do as a black man, as a black person, if you're in your craft and perfecting your craft.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I think Creed 3, just going back to like how you broke it all down by really perfectly, but like Creed 3 was like now like Michael B. Jordan or Creed Adonis, he it's healing's always a thing. It's like you're never fully healed, you never
Yeah.
fully pass your trauma. You're always becoming a better person. But now he's on the flip side. He's the one trying to help I can't think of what's his name?
Damien.
Damien. Yeah.
Damien. He was trying to help Damien because now Damien's got like some of that trauma and that anger and that stuff that he didn't get a chance to work out like Adonis did. So
Yeah.
it was interesting seeing like as a friend and then like as somebody trying to help him and stuff like that. So like he's the quote unquote father figure. I mean, even
Right.
though they're best friends. But yeah, that was really interesting. I never really thought about it, but it makes so much sense. It's super perfect when
Yeah.
the way you described it like that.
And then Damien really took the rap for Adonis
Exactly.
in a lot of ways, and then just didn't hear from him. But we find out that Felicia Rashad was hiding the letters from Adonis, which was like, yo, like I still don't know how to feel about that. Like I get it, like
Yeah.
you want to
You want to be
on a
mad at
different
Felicia
path.
Rashad, but you just say, man, she was
Yeah,
Claire
You
Huxtable.
kind of
How mad
Right.
can I really be?
yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay, you want to protect your child. At the same time, this kid is right in jail for something that he did. I don't think she knew that much of the story.
She just thought that he was a bad influence. And
Yeah,
you need to
yeah.
leave your past in the past.
Yeah.
So I think that Creed 3 was great. I'm looking forward to Creed 4, seeing what they do with that. And I think like they have a comic book out as well.
Oh, the comic book is so good.
Is that like
It's
I haven't
following
read
his
any of
daughter
it.
more than anything.
Yeah.
And her battle through being deaf and
Mhm.
becoming a fighter and
She's doing MMA, right?
fighting in the ring. She's boxing and then she does a lot of stuff. It's really, really good. It's a very good series. If you guys could go see it. It's an independent comic book, But if you
Mhm.
get a chance to read that, oh, it's
Yeah,
so good.
that's
Yeah.
good to
I think
hear.
the art is really good too. The
Oh,
art
it's
is like
beautiful.
really,
Yeah.
really beautifully drawn.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I would,
So,
I would be remiss if I didn't say none of this could be possible without Carl Weathers. Uh,
absolutely.
Carl
Mhm.
Weathers, someone we lost,
Mm.
in the last 2 weeks. At the age of 74, so young. I mean, a great football player that became an actor who was still playing football when he got cast for Rocky. Like, it was able to take that and be that huge personality and
Yeah.
everything that you want. And his character was so big, he stole the scene so much that we have an entire franchise that was followed by him.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
shout out to Carl Weathers. Rest in peace to your family. Hope everything you find peace and all those things. Yeah, without you, there will be none of this. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great dude. Great career. Like
Yes.
great several different careers actually. Yeah, man. He was a gem. He was definitely an inspiration, and he without him, Rocky doesn't go.
exactly.
Without his
Mhm.
performance, Rocky does not become what he becomes. So yeah, man. He'll really be missed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the Creed series is a good continuation of that legacy, that he left
Hmm.
with the Rocky franchise, because I think it's in good hands with Michael B. Jordan, and he understands it and respects it, and
Yeah.
really does love it. So yeah. Yeah. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um, but real quick, one thing I thought with it was I'm like, oh, we're just getting like the normal stereotype kind of stuff again. Like, oh, here's a young boy without a father, and
Hmm.
he's in the streets, gang banging, doing all this like bad kid stuff, and I was like, oh, but how it's like, and I know Brian, you said it, in a few different videos of where like being black, it just doesn't mean you're this. He's able to take that life and with a strong woman, and didn't, like you said, Marianne Creed didn't have to do what she did, took him in and
Yep.
turned his whole life around, and he became a better person, became a better man, and for it. So it's like it started off with that kind of black trope kind of thing, but
Hmm.
the way it ended was like truly black excellence. Like this man is Creed, obviously the dad, Apollo, and now Adonis. It's literally just legacies,
Yeah.
of being excellent, in their craft. So yeah, I thought that was kind of like a good way to like, hey, yeah, it could be this, but we're gonna turn it into something bigger and more powerful.
Yep.
Well, and also as being a mentor,
Yeah.
being there for someone, showing them the light, having someone's back, giving someone an opportunity that you don't think is always there for them. If you give that opportunity, sometimes they exceed you. Sometimes they become a mogul, and that's what Adonis Creed has become, a mogul in this. And he took what he did. And I preach this all the time because I'm a business owner.
Hmm.
Take what you do and make it into a business.
Yeah.
So if you don't learn anything from this video, don't know anything else from this video, take what you love and make it into a business. This is why we're talking about these things. I want hopefully one of these videos hits you in some way. There's a lot of different type of movies, a lot of different type of things. It should hit you somewhere, and it should encourage you to do something or to do something for someone else. And black excellence, that's it. As Tank said, it's not something that you can be pigeonholed into. It's not
Right.
just what you see in what the news wants to show you. It is everything. We've been everywhere. It's all part of culture. Black culture is part of American culture because we are really the fabric, the foundation of it. This is where it comes from. So celebrating this is celebrating America, celebrating you, anyone who's watching it. Guys, if you're watching the video and you really enjoy this content, please comment, let us know, like it, share. We want to get this stuff out to everybody. We're going to do a lot of these videos. We're going to continue to do these things as long as we can. So please comment. Thank you guys for watching it. Thanks, Kenny, for joining us. Shout out your channel one more time for us, man.
Yeah, so my channel is Kenny Sparks channel. I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, live streams occasionally. Right now, I'm doing a series called the Unseen Movie Marathon, where I talk about one movie I haven't seen for each year between 1970 to present, actually. This most recent one was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The next one is going to be Network for 1976. So as I go through these and learn more and more about these movies, also I did do a review of Shaft from 1971. So if you guys want to check out some excellence, you can check that out. Yeah. So one of the greatest songs ever, actually.
If I had a band behind me, I was just man, come on.
Yo, so you could just turn on the Shaft theme song and just let it play as you're doing your work, man. It's a great song. So yeah, so that's all the stuff that's coming up on my channel. Definitely have a few movie reviews coming up. Madam Web, unfortunately, and then I'll be talking about Bob Marley. So,
Yes.
Thanks to Spoiler King so much, Brian and Tank, for having me on. Appreciate this and appreciate being a part of this series because this was great. I love Creed and I love talking about it.
That's wonderful. And I want to say thank you to Tank for joining me and being here. You know, he's always, you guys don't know how much he does for us. He's our director. He's our everything. He's the one that does all this stuff behind the scenes too. So I always, you know, thanks for being my partner in crime, man. I appreciate it.
Nah, man. I love doing this stuff and yeah, especially this kind of stuff. When we brought this stuff up, it was like a no-brainer, you know. So yeah. So appreciate you leading it.
Hey, we're gonna continue to do this. I mean, with all this stuff, there's so many things that we're gonna talk about because at the end of the day, there's not just one black way to do things. We are like a rainbow. We are all type of things. We are good, we're bad, we're everything in between. And that's what Black excellence shows. That you can be good and beat everything. You're all a part of everything. And know that you are part of it. I want you guys to know that. Comment on this stuff. And we'll see you guys on the next video. See you later.
Peace.